we've had a history on this committee and this subcommittee going back at least 40 to 50 years that when we have major issues, we try to approach them on behalf of the American people in a nonpartisan, very open way. And it certainly appears that we're going to continue that tradition today. So I hope that we can show the best to the American people, that the Congress at its best gets the facts, presents the facts, and does so in a way that in the future we protect the public health and safety for the American people. Now, with that caveat, I do have a few questions. A number of congressmen so far have made the point that these ignition switches didn't appear to meet specifications. And my assumption is that you've agreed that they did not meet specifications. Is that correct?
We've learned that as we did the recall.
Now, I'm an industrial engineer. I used to be a registered professional engineer. I'm not currently registered, but I have been in the past. Why in the world would a company with the stellar reputation of General Motors purchase a part that did not meet its own specifications?
I want to know that as much as you do. It is not the way we do business today. It's not the way we want to design and engineer vehicles for our customers.
I mean, I just don't understand that. I've never worked in an auto assembly environment. I've worked in a defense plant, an aircraft plant. I was plant manager of a printing plant. I've done very limited consulting in the oil and gas industry. But I've never been a part of an organization that said, we set the specs. When a part doesn't meet the specs, we go ahead and buy it anyway. And I just, you know, you're currently the CEO, but at one time, I think before you became CEO, you were the vice president for global product development, purchasing, and supply chain. I mean, is it your position now that General Motors will not accept parts that don't meet specifications?
We will not accept parts that don't meet our performance, safety, functionality, durability requirements. As I mentioned before in the steel example, there will be times where there will be a material or a part that doesn't meet this exact specification, but after analysis and looking at the performance, the safety, the durability, the reliability, the functionality, it will be okay. That happens very often as we buy steel to make the bodies of the vehicles.
Well, then you don't need specifications. With all respect,
no, but
what you just answered is gobbledygook.
But
it's your own specification. It's your company's specification. If a part doesn't meet the specification, why in the world would you not refuse it and only accept a part that meets the specification?
There needs to be a well-documented process if you accept a part that doesn't meet the original specification.
Will the gentleman yield?
Briefly, yes.
Do you have that information?
On steel?
No, on starters.
Yeah.
On the ignition switch?
Yeah, if it didn't meet specifications, do you have the information on these starters that it met all those other criteria?
That is part of the investigation, but clearly by the fact that we made a recall, it did not meet the performance.
We have the advantage as a subcommittee that we know now what happened in the past. We know now that there's a real problem. We know now that a number of young people have lost their lives, and apparently because of this defect. So we have the advantage of hindsight, and I understand that. But as Ms. DeGette just said, and a number of others, there's no reason to have specifications if you don't enforce them. Now, this next question is not a trick question, but it's an important question. Right now, how many parts are being used in General Motors product that don't meet your own company specifications?
I don't have that exact number, but I can tell you the parts that we're using today meet the performance and the reliability, the safety that they need to. If we find we have a part that is defective, that doesn't meet the requirements, we then do a recall.
Well, again, that's not an acceptable answer, I think, to the American people. We're not telling you the specifications to set. Now, there are some safety specifications that by law and NHTSA by regulation sets, but there shouldn't be a part used in any GM product, or for that matter, any other automobile product that's sold in the United States that doesn't meet the specifications. My last question, at what level was the decision made to override and to use this part even though it didn't meet specification? Was that made at the manufacturing level, at the executive level, or even at some subcomponent purchasing level? Do you know that right now?
That's part of our investigation to find that question, answer that question.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.